episode of Chad Sports Talk. You don't know, my name's Chad. Take a dive with sports. In this video, I want to do something else. I had planned to do a different style of video today, but because of recent actions this past week and even the weekend that's really happened and transpired in NFL, I had to jump in and do this another update video a little bit earlier than I really anticipated, because there's so much big news going on and so much things is changing in the landscape, which is going to affect a lot of teams, because a lot of teams got to get themselves below the cap line. So they're still restructuring contracts, signing players, releasing players. Other players are still questioning about where they could possibly land. And I'll give you all the little tidbits I've noticed, some of the key moves I've noticed in the past like 5 days. It's not even a week. But we'll dive in on that really quick. If you could, just go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me. Give me a like. It really pleases YouTube gods. Help promote this channel out. You can also subscribe. I'll check my analytics. So if you guys are reviewing my work, now many of you subscribe, it costs you a dime. It helps me provide more entertainment value for you. And I'll get the biggest thing out right out the gate. He's back. That's right. Tom Brady, after 2 months of being retired, is like, you know what? I don't want this. I'm coming back. I'm playing again for Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay pretty much left the door open for him to possibly come back. They probably knew he still had that little spark in him to kind of come back. And I think what happened last year, due to all the injuries they had, the Antonio Brown incident and all the receivers going down, that he felt that team probably could have won back-to-back championships, and they didn't. So he thinks that he has to come back, especially if that team stays somewhat together. Now, one of the key aspects with this one is their center, Jensen, has re-signed with Tampa Bay for a 3-year deal to make sure that he's the center, but they have no guards, no tight ends. But they do have Godwin and Evans. Godwin got tagged. They still have Evans there. I think Gronk will come back for one more run. They could probably pick up another decent tight end on the cheap. Probably find some decent guards. And I think Tampa Bay would be a viable aspect this upcoming season with LA and Green Bay. So it'll be the big three really dominating. But with that being said, I mean, that was just probably the biggest shock I think everyone's kind of expecting. Some people weren't really shocked that he came back. So we'll kind of see how things kind of go. And some other interesting news, especially for myself being a Bears fan, as you could probably tell. The Bears have traded Cleo Mac to the Los Angeles Chargers for a 2022 second round and a 2023 sixth round draft pick. Now, for me, I think it's a bad idea, but he only had one good season in Chicago. Now it's his first year. Next 2 seasons, he's been injury prone. And other players had to step up to the role to take over for the missing Khalil Mack. So they dealt without him anyways. And plus, he has a huge contract. That means there's more cap room now because they don't have all that money now. The Chargers are picking it up. Chargers looking at this as like, we got Herbert on a rookie deal. We need to go all in and really get this guy something to hang his hat on. And our defense definitely helped us lose games, or possibly make games more interesting than probably should have. So you bring Cleo Mac, if he stays healthy, and him and Bosa on opposite ends will be able to play havoc in that loaded AFC West. And now, if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm going, what in the world? I'm trying to get away from these type of defenses, and they're all coming following me over here. But that's just happened to be the arms race in the AFC West. Now, speaking of the arms race, the Raiders then re-signed Max Crosby. They're a great defensive end during a 4-year extension. So he's going to be there for a long haul. So it's going to make the Raiders pretty decent as well. Crowded division with the Dallas Cowboys. They end up trading Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns for a 5th and 6th round in this upcoming draft. Now, I think with them, they're looking at what they have. They have Cooper, they have CD Lamb, and they also have Gallup, who now has been signed with a $62.5 million deal to stay in Dallas. So it looks like Dallas is looking at Gallup and looking at Lamb as their primary 1-2 punch, and decided Murray wasn't worth the money anymore and shipped him off to Cleveland. So we'll kind of see what happens with him being back in AFC. Because remember, he was a Raider and they got traded out with under the Gruden tenure. So we'll see what happens with him. Some other big signings. Kirk Cousins has signed a $35 million extension with Minnesota. So looks like the Vikings will probably be a very a viable opponent for the Packers in the North Division. Zach Ertz has decided to stay in Arizona and signed a 3-year deal. You know, Hertz and J.J. Watt, their wives are actually part of the Chicago Red Stars of the National Women's Soccer League. So they kind of know each other that way and kind of been friendly, let's put it that way. So maybe it's part of the reasons why he decided to stay there. And we'll kind of see what happens in Arizona because they still have the question marks with Kyler Murray. So they think he's looking for extension. I don't think Arizona's ready to bite that just yet, but we'll have to wait and see. And looking at some other things, Jason Kelce, the center for the Philadelphia Eagles, had decided that he's coming back for another year and signed a $24 million contract to become the highest paid center in the NFL. And as of right now, those are some of the bigger names being out there. There's a few like releases. The Bears released Terry Cohen. Unfortunately, he's been injured a lot, so Chicago's like, okay, we're not going to keep this guy around because he's going to play like half the year anyways. You're wishing the best of luck. See if he gets healthy, makes it something else. Dallas released their kicker, so but some 2 key free agents still out there. That thing's going to probably make some big money, or at least a splash. You do have Trubinsky, who right now is the number 2 quarterback in Buffalo. He's a free agent. And there's been a lot of rumors of him possibly going to Pittsburgh. There's Indianapolis, and now Seattle's kind of popped up as a possible destination for him. The only problem with Trubinsky is his accuracy, but when he's on his game, he's on his game. He's proved that in Chicago, so we'll wait and see. Another one's offensive tackle, Terran Armstead. I'm sure he's going to be a very highly targeted a commodity this offseason, especially a lot of teams that need to bolster their offensive line, Chicago, and those with some additional cap room that probably could offer some big money, Chicago. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. But, he's going to find himself in a bidding war and be wined and dined until he gets the deal he really likes the most with the team he probably likes the most. And then finally, probably one that probably generate the most buzz is Deshaun Watson. Last Friday, the grand jury decided not to indict him on criminal charges for sexual assault as being claimed by 20-plus women who's done civil suits against him and claimed the same. There's a lot of layers in this story, and apparently he had 20 other plus women bat for him. So with that being said, now he's not being charged criminally. Now he's being targeted for possible trade locations, and I think 2 teams really popped up to be possible destinations for Deshaun Watson, both of them in the in the NFC South. That's Carolina and New Orleans. With Carolina, I think they're looking at the hodgepodge they have right there. You got Sam Darnold, you got Cam Newton, you got PJ Walker. None of them's panned out. You could probably trade Deshaun Watson for Sam Darnold to kind of see maybe another location, but help him out, maybe under Lovie Smith, who knows how to somewhat work with quarterbacks. Remember, he had Rex Grossman, went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. So, You may bring him in to be kind of, the mentor for Mills, possibly, which sounds weird. I think Cam's done. That time frame in New England proved that, and he has his moments. Don't get me wrong; he's a very talented athlete, and he will have those moments where he will shine. But he has less of those than he used to. PJ Walker made a great name for himself when the XFL was playing, and he's showing presence there. So it's quite transpired. So I think a fresh start in Carolina would be good. New Orleans needs one because you still have, where James Winston go. As he stay there, I think they're looking more at Taysom Hill as their starter. I believe that's where the direction they're going. Maybe adding Deshaun Watson really kind of elevates them, especially if they can bring back some of their talent. Still have the issue with Kamara. So, maybe he doesn't want to go there. I mean, Indianapolis would be a great spot for him. I mean, they have the talent there. He has a running game. I mean, I think he would thrive in Indy. But Houston's not going to send him there. And, that's just kind of leave, somewhere on the NFC side is going to pick him up. And the only two places really left that needs a quarterback is Carolina and New Orleans. So I think it'll be one of those two locations that's going to end up picking him up. So I kind of went with, I think I mentioned the Saints beforehand. I'll go stick with them again. And Kaepernick is back in the news as well, saying he is better than ever, more fit than ever. He's always been practicing. He's ready to come back. There are a lot of Cat fans out there that saying he got shafted because of his protest. I would say that part did play a part, but his play went extremely downhill after going to the Super Bowl. People got used to how he played, and they were able to devise defenses against him, and he could not adapt and overcome to that. Neither could their offensive coordinator, neither could Harbaugh. That's why I'd let Harbaugh to go back to the coach Michigan, because just couldn't get things going, and that's when 49ers decided to just end the Cap experiment and go a different direction. Now, Kaepernick has proven to be a viable quarterback at times. Like I said, he had that Super Bowl run. He did great his senior year in Nevada. So, I mean, could he be a legitimate starter for a certain team? He could. It kind of depends on the team. Because, like Indianapolis, he doesn't have to be the star. And I think Cap wants to be the star, which means Seattle, because then he has Lockett and DK Metcalf out there. You could throw the ball to. So I think if Cap does come back, it will be in Seattle. Just because of the receivers they have there, he can throw the ball to them. He can run around like, the plays that, devised for Russell Wilson. I think will work for Cap. So I think Kaepernick going to Seattle probably makes the best fit for those two personalities. But it all depends on what type of contract they offer Kaepernick and what type of limitations they put on him. That being said, the biggest news, Tom Brady decided, 2 months with his wife and kids was enough. He's coming back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I know it's a whole family decision, and they realized he was not completely happy. With that being said, he decided to come back, make another run. Hopefully this will be last year. Who knows? Cleo Mac now back in the AFC West, and the Raiders are now shaking their head. They're like, we got rid of this guy. Now we face him twice a year. WTF. Same thing with Russell Wilson's like, listen, I got away from these monsters. I'm going to deal with one monster, and I'll get, they're all coming. Amari Cooper going to Cleveland. Jarvis Landry now I think it's popped up that he wants out. So, but hey, let me know down below what you think. What's the chances now of Tampa Bay this upcoming season? Do you think they're Super Bowl bound? Or you think this will be Brady's final year? Or he's going to play till he's 50 out there in a wheelchair? Let me know down below. While you're there, you can also like and share. You can also, once again, you can subscribe. Once you subscribe, hit that bell notification. Let you know next time I post a video. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.